आज इस वीडियो में हम खान यूनिवर्सिटी एग्जामिनेशन बोर्ड क्लास 11 2000 मई 2016 फिजिक्स पेपर 1 सॉल्व करेंगे. So let's come to our question number 1 in this year. So here we have our question number 1. So the first question is that we have a graph of force and acceleration on the x-axis while force on y-axis. And which of the following features of the graph indicates that there is an systematic error in our measurement? So if we know the relation between force and acceleration, the second law of motion states that acceleration is directly proportional to the net force or resultant force. If there is a net force acting on a body, there will be an acceleration in that body. So if we see this graph in which y-axis, if there is zero force, the graph indicates that it has some amount of acceleration. So from this graph, and according to the second law of Newton's law of motion, zero net force will have no acceleration. Zero net force should have zero acceleration. This means that this graph should pass through this origin point that indicates zero force and zero acceleration. So the correct option for this question is option D, that straight line does not pass through the origin. This means that there is an systematic error in the measurements. Then we have question number 2 and 3. The dimensions of gravitational constant from this formula F equals gm1 m2 over r square. So from this given formula, the g will be equals to force radius square divided by m1 m2. So from this equation, we have to find the dimensions of gravitational constant. So the formula of force is mass time acceleration. The dimension of mass is m, while for acceleration it is lt minus 2. So let's substitute the dimension of force in this formula. The force will become mlt minus 2. Radius square will be equals to L2 divided by mass m1 m2 is m and m. So one mass will be cancelled out, L1 and L2 will become L3 and T would remain same. So the dimension of G will become M minus 1, L2, L3 and T minus 2. So this is the dimension for the gravitational constant G. So the correct option for this question would be option D. Question number 3, the torque applied in all the following except for the one. So there are applications of turning effect in these options except for the one. So tightening of a screw is the application of torque, rotating a key of a toy, similarly turning a pencil in a sharpener, it is also the application of torque. So correct option is D for question number 3. Dragging a body on a level road does not have any torque there. So the correct option is option D. Let's come to the next question, that is question number 4. In the given diagram, the direction of torque will be. So we have four options, A, B, C, and D. So if we rotate this uh, if we rotate this uh, wheel, we have to identify that what will be the direction of torque. So we know that what is torque. The mathematical definition of torque is such that it is the cross product of the moment arm and force. And according to the right hand grip rule, the direction of the resultant in a cross product can be found by using right hand grip rule, in which thumb indicates the direction of the resultant. If we hold vectors if we hold or if we place our curled fingers in the direction of from first vector to the second vector, so the direction of torque will be perpendicular to both of these two vectors r and f. So the correct option or the direction of torque will be in option A, that is represented by the direction of thumb. So let's come to our question number 5 and 6. A body is said to be in equilibrium. So let's recall what is equilibrium. It is a condition of a body in which the net force acting on it is zero and its acceleration is zero. So the vector sum of all the torques acting on that body must be equal to zero. So this is the second condition of equilibrium. The first condition is the one in which sum of all the forces and the acceleration should be zero. Similarly, second condition of equilibrium states that the sum of all the torques clockwise and anti-clockwise on the body is equal to zero, and the rotational acceleration or angular acceleration of the body will be zero. So correct option for question number 5 is option A. Then question number 6, the projectile motion is an example of which type of motion? So we know that in a projectile motion, we assume a body to be moving in two dimension. One is along the vertical axis in which projectile possess the free fall motion. Similarly, it also has a horizontal displacement, horizontal distance covered by the projectile, that is the constant motion. So in short, a projectile motion, we have a free fall vertical motion. Simultaneously, we have a constant horizontal motion with zero acceleration. So the correct option for this question is option B, in which the projectile is a two-dimensional motion. Then we have question number 7. If a projectile is fired with a velocity of 90 meters per second, this means we have our initial velocity, then it has maximum possible range will be. So we have to find the maximum possible range. This means that theta should be equals to 45 degree, because at 45 degrees the projectile has the maximum range. So the formula for the range we have studied is vi square sine 2 theta over g. So sine 2 theta will be equals to 1 because theta is 45. Sine 2 theta, in which theta is 45, multiplied by 2. So sine 90 will become will be equals to 1. So range will become vi square over g. So the value of vi is 90. So it will become 90 square divided by 9.8. 90 square will become 8100 divided by 9.8. So after solution and converting into scientific form, the correct answer would be 8.3 times 10 raised to the power 2 meters. So the correct answer for question number 7 is option C. Let's come to our question number 8. The following diagram represent a boy lifting a block in upward direction. So for lifting a block in upward direction, this person should apply the force in this way or in upward direction. So work done by the gravitational force on that block will be, so we know that the gravitational force, we have to find the work done by the gravitational force. So the gravitational force is acting downward while this person is lifting that block in upward direction. So the displacement of this block will be in upward direction, and as we can see that the direction of gravitational force and displacement both are in opposite direction. So in that case the work done is always negative, because the angle between force and displacement is 180 degrees, and cos of 180 degrees is equal to -1, and the formula for the work done is Fs cos theta. So in that case, cos theta will be equals to -1, and overall the magnitude of the work done will be negative. So the correct answer will is option D. Then let's come to the question number 9. Which of the following quantity is defined as the rate of expenditure of energy? So this is the simple definition of a physical quantity that is represented in the options. So the rate means the change with respect to time. If some quantity is changing with respect to time, we refer this change as a rate. Similarly, we know that energy can be termed in sense of work as well. So work and energy are almost same concept. So in this question, we have to find the rate of energy or rate of work. So this means the rate of work means work over time, and the work over time we know that it is equals to power. So the correct answer is option C. Let's see question number 10. A water pump lifts through a height of 5 meters at a rate of zero point 0.2 kg per second, and we have to find the power required by the water pump. So we know that as we have done in our previous question, work energy power is equals to work over time. And if a height is changed in doing work, so that work is always equals to potential energy. In this question, height is given, that is 5. Gravitational acceleration we know it is 9.8, while the zero point 0.2 kg per second, it's mean mass over time is given in our question 0.2. So this is zero point 0.2 times 9.8 multiplied by 5. So the product will be equals to 10 watts, 10 joules per second or 10 watt. So for question number 10, the correct option is option C. Let's move to our question number 11 and 12. Which of the following information regarding the non-conventional energy and their original source is incorrect? So let's see one by one. Solar is a energy that is its original source is sun. This is correct. Similarly, the tidal energy is because of the gravitational attraction or gravitational attraction of the moon. Similarly, the geothermal energy is from the earth. So biomass is the energy that is not from the uranium, rather uranium is the source of nuclear energy. So the correct answer for question number 11 is option C. Then in question number 12, we have in other definition that the rate of change of angular velocity. Once again, we have rate, and rate means the change in something with respect to time. So we have to tell about the rate of angular velocity that is represented by omega divided by t. So this is known as alpha, that is the angular acceleration. The rate of change of angular velocity is equals to angular acceleration. So correct option is our option C. Let's come to our next question, that is question number 13. When an artificial satellite is orbiting around the earth, everything within the satellite appears to be weightless In an artificial satellite, when it is revolving around the Earth, so the gravitational force or the weight of that object disappears, and then that object inside the satellite becomes weightless. So the astronauts creates an artificial gravity inside the satellite or the spacecraft to to so the correct answer for question number 13 is option A. Then we have question number 14. A low orbiting satellite is launched at a height of 3 exponent 5 meters. So we have our height, that is 3 exponent 5, above the surface of the earth. The mass of the earth is 6 exponent 24, so we have me, that is the mass of earth, and we have the radius of the earth 6 exponent 6.4 exponent 6, this is the radius of the earth. And we have a gravitational constraint capital G 6.67 exponent minus 11 nm square per kg square. Then we have to find the orbital speed of the satellite. So the formula for the orbital velocity is a square root of Gm over r. So if a body or a satellite is revolving at a certain height, so this formula becomes r plus h. So let's substitute these values. Value of g is 6.67, 10 raised to the power minus 11 times mass of earth, that is 6.0 exponent 24, divided by radius of earth, that is 6.4, 10 raised to the power 6, plus the height of the satellite is 3 exponent 5. So after solving this expression, we will get 7.710 raised to the power 3 meters per second. So the correct answer for this question is option A. Let's come to our next question, that is question number 15. Which of the following is not obeyed by an ideal fluid? So we know that the ideal fluid is the one in which it has a steady flow. There is no force of friction or the drag force between the molecules of the fluid. So the correct answer for this question is option A, Stokes' law. This Stokes law states about a drag force that is the body, acting on the body, moving through the fluids. The other three options, Torricelli's theorems, Bernoulli's equation, and the equation of continuity, they all are related to the ideal fluid. Then we have our next question, question number 16. The fluid is incompressible, non viscous, and steady flow. All of the followings are based on the above conditions except which. So once again, the concept is same, that was asked in our previous question number 15. The correct answer is Stokes law. All of the following are based on the above conditions. So Torricelli's theorem, Bernoulli's equation, and equation of continuity all talks about the fluid that are incompressible, non-viscous, and they have steady flow. So option A is the correct answer. Question number 17. We have a pendulum that has a frequency of 0.5 hertz, and we have to tell about what is its time period. So the relation between the time period and frequency is such that T equals 1 over F. So 1 over 0.5 will be equals to 2 seconds. So the correct answer for this question is 2 seconds. We have in option D. Let's come to our question number 18. The shock absorber of a truck suspension is designed to increase the amount of what? We know that shock absorber are the one in which that are used in vehicles, so that when they are moving on the road and passing through the bumps or any holes, so that vehicles should immediately come to rest after vibrating. So the phenomena that is involved in shock absorber, that they are used to decrease to increase the amount of damping, so that the vibrating vehicle should immediately comes to their equilibrium position. So the correct answer is option A. Then we have question number 19. Which of the following graph indicates the variation in kinetic energy of a particle executing the simple harmonic motion? So we know that the kinetic energy is maximum at mean position because velocity of the body is maximum at mean and zero at the extreme position. So these options are incorrect because they indicates that they have zero kinetic energy at mean position and maximum kinetic energy at the extreme position. So in that way, the option B and D are incorrect. Similarly, this option A indicates the linear change in kinetic energy with respect to the amplitude of the vibration. So the correct answer will be option C, in which we have a non-linear relation between uh, kinetic energy and the amplitude, and simultaneously we have the maximum kinetic energy at mean position while zero kinetic energy at the extreme positions. So the correct answer is option C. Then we have question number 20 and 21. When a simple pendulum is slightly displaced from its mean position, then where does that simple pendulum then it moves with width of the following frequency? So, whenever a simple pendulum is slightly displaced, that pendulum starts vibrating with its natural frequency until and unless an external force is applied on that pendulum. So that pendulum will vibrate or oscillate with its natural frequency. So the correct answer is option D. Then let's see question number 21. All of the following phenomena are executed by the longitudinal wave except for the one. So the refraction, diffraction, and interference. These are the phenomena that are possessed by all type of waves. Rather, it is longitudinal, it is transverse, it is electromagnetic or mechanical wave. These all phenomena are possessed by these waves. So this phenomena polarization, that is the correct answer in this question, is a phenomena in that is not possessed by longitudinal wave, because in polarization we separate one component of the wave that is perpendicular to the other. So transverse wave or electromagnetic waves especially possess this phenomena polarization. So option D is the correct answer. Let's move to our next question, that is question number 22. The resultant displacement at any point due to sum of displacement of two or move more waves is called what? So this phenomena is known as interference of wave. When two or more waves passing at a point, the displacement of the resultant wave is equal to sum of two or more waves. This is called interference of the wave. So the correct answer is in option A. Then we have question number 23. Which of the following statements about the nature of light is incorrect with reference to the scientist? Newton's formulated the corpuscular theory of light. This is the correct one. Hygiene says that the light travels in the form of waves, or in the form of wavelets. Similarly, Young's interference experiment explains the interference of light. This is the correct one. And we have last option, Einstein's theory of photoelectric effect favors the wave theory of light. So this is the incorrect one, because this Einstein's theory does not favors wave theory. It represents the particle nature of light. So the correct option of this question is option D. Let's see question number 24 and 25. Which of the following phenomena of light is used in the formation of Newton's ring? So, we have studied in Newton's ring that two or more waves are interfering at a point to form a bright fringe or the dark fringe, and the phenomena involved in that process is the interference of light. So, correct option is option D. Michelson's interferometer measures velocity of light, illumination power of light, thickness of very thin objects, or the wavelength of monochromated light. So the Michelson interferometers is a method to measure the wavelength of the light, and in this process, once again, interference of the light is involved. So the correct answer for this question number 25 is also option D. Let's move to our next question, that are 26 and 27. All of the following quantities of gas changes if the gas is heated in a closed system. So when a gas is heated, its volume, its pressure, and its temperature, these all are the parameters that could be changed when the gas is heated, except for the mass, because the amount of particles in a gas remains same when it is heated in a closed container. So the correct option is option B. Option A. Then we have question number 27. When an ideal gas is cooled at a constant volume, and the pressure becomes half, the average translational kinetic energy of the gas molecules will be. So the relation between these parameters is PV is equals to constant times mv square over 2. This mv square is the kinetic energy that represents the that represent the temperature as well. So the temperature, pressure is volume is constant. This means that the pressure is directly proportional to mv square over 2, or the temperature. So pressure is half, so the average translational kinetic energy or the temperature will also reduce to half. So option B is the right answer. Then we have question number 28 and 29. All Carnot engines have zero efficiency if they are operating between the bodies having what kind of temperature? Similarly, let's see the formula of the efficiency of the Carnot engine, that is equals to 1 minus T1 over T2 times 100, where this is the temperature of the cooled reservoir and this is the temperature of a hot reservoir, and the efficiency to become zero, this means that T1 over T2 should be equals to 1, so that 1 minus 1 would become 0, and T1 and T2 are the ratio of T1 and T2 is 1 when they both temperatures are equal. So they have same temperature irrespective of the nature of the substance. The efficiency does not depend on the nature of the substance, so its efficiency will be equals to 0 when the temperature of both reservoirs become equal. So option C will be the correct answer. Then we have question number 29. If the system, if the source temperature of a system is 500 Kelvin and sink's temperature is 400 Kelvin, we have to find the efficiency of the Carnot engine. So it is equals to 1 minus 400 divided by 500 times 100. So if we solve this expression, 1 minus 400, 4 over 5 times 100, it will become 20%. So the correct answer for question number 29 is option A. Then we then we have a last question, that is question number 30 in this year. The given figure shows a cylinder containing fluid with a movable piston. When a piston moves out, so the movement of piston shows that it is moving in this way. This shows that work is done or by gas. So when a work is done by the gas, so this type of work done is positive because work done by the gas is moving the piston outward, so the displacement and force are in same direction. So work done is positive. So these two options will be incorrect. So the thermodynamic work is equals to P delta V, in which P is the pressure and delta V is the change in volume. So this is the cross sectional area and this is the displacement. So area multiplied by the displacement is equals to volume. So volume can be replaced by these two parameters P A delta X. So this is the thermodynamic work done involved in this question. So the correct option for the last question of this year is option D.